Party people in the place to be, live from 58 Dream Street, we're Jameson with Games. Alright, second Star Control 2 Let's Play episode of the new year, 2022. It's been a wild year for me so far. Hope you folks are having a good one as well. Eventful, mostly in good ways for me, but an extremely busy week with the launch of the... Well, we're starting online, but maybe we'll come back, but maybe we won't. Semester and the... I had some job applications to get. Just a lot going on. And now here we are. Ready to not think about any of that stuff for a few hours. So let me just adjust my volume so that when I launch the game here, it's not overpoweringly loud. Star Control 2. Here we go. Alright. Now my windows are all a mess. So give me a second. Breaking out of full screen. Sends everything into chaos here. There we go. Covered. Alright. We're ready. So, as this week's episode title suggests, we're giving up on the Pkunk. I'm not going to figure out how to save them, and I will not look at a walkthrough. So they're going to go to the Yehat, and unless it's a happy twist where the Yehat are like, "Oh, hey Pkunk, nice to see you," that'll be that. I suppose it's possible that the Pkunk could be forced to submit and become battle thralls of the Urquan. Maybe we'll be fighting the Pkunk with their obnoxious resurrection ability before too long. Who knows? But if we're going to lose the Pkunk as potential allies, pay no attention. Hail British. How's the new year treating you? Ignore the save file name because we are not anymore trying to save the Pkunk. Sorry, Pkunk. You were fun, but you're just too frustrating. I can't deal with you anymore. So you're going to meet your fate one way or the other. So we're losing those allies. We want new allies. And I have two leads, besides my ability to just wander the galaxy aimlessly. One lead is that Admiral Vux, the nicest of the hideous aliens, the Vux. My New Year's British was pretty solid. At the last, close to the last minute, a friend, Rich, in fact, from the Friday Night Forgotten Circles, him and his wife decided to host a murder mystery. So with very little preparation. For example, there was no 3-course meal as specified in the rules of the murder mystery. And none of us had costumes, and none of us knew what our characters were before we arrived. But we still had a good time. And it was a very tame, COVID safe. Everyone double vaxxed, some of us boosted. It's a good time. And here's the good news that I do have about my job, which is that it was posted, and I applied officially yesterday after probably spending more time on the statement of teaching interests in the cover letter than was really necessary. It's posted. The closing of the posting is the 13th, but after I applied, it said, the committee is reviewing applications now, and I suspect nobody wants to be on a hiring committee. I'm well liked and perform well in the job. It's an internal posting, so only other DFA members can apply. And then there's some wonky stuff with the actual posting itself, where HR posted it by mistake as a non-internal, and then it was announced as required in our university newsletter, and then the what's the last thing I'm trying to say here? Then our finance director realized, hey, this has been posted publicly. This is supposed to be an internal posting, so please fix that. So she reached out to HR to fix it, and so they fixed it. But that changes the the post link. So now the advertisement in the newsletter links not to the job, and it's going to be, yeah. So there's a very strong chance that I'm going, before the closing date of the post, I'm going to be contacted and hired without anybody else applying for it. Which, fingers crossed, that would be lovely. But now it's just nothing but nail biting. I'm pretty sure they'll interview me. The last time I interviewed, it was another similar situation where they made a posting that they wanted to hire me for, and that was years ago now, 6 years ago specifically. And I could tell the interview process was torture for 2 of the 3 committee members, because they'd ask the question, and then I would give like an enthusiastic and detailed and thoughtful answer that saw me speaking for like 5 minutes. One of the committee members was taking notes with his right hand while he was just on his laptop the whole time, and just he'd write down a keyword every now and then, and was just like, I could tell the 2 of them were just like, James, just shut up. just say like, I work very hard, and give us 2-sentence answers and just let us get this over with. But I can't. Surely nobody who's watched this stream for any length of time could possibly believe that I'm capable of shutting up. So there it is. So 2 leads. Lead number 1. Admiral Vooks wants me to find some specimen, and he gave me this obnoxious clue. He said it can be found in an 8-star system. He said Lynch Nas Plo was some translation that he believes translates to snake-like creature who has swallowed the elephantine beast. Meanwhile, last time we discovered, in fact, let's get down to business here. I found the Betelgeuse star system, and intrigued because I am a millennial. So I've been fond of Betelgeuse, the fictional character, since I was a child, even though I didn't see the film until I was an adult. And so I went there, and we met the Syreen, the sexy space lady aliens, formerly of the Federation of Free Planets, or whatever it was called, now a slave planet, and it's not their original planet. And they were all, you need something to tempt us to risking our lives. And they talked about where their home was, their original home, Copernicus, star system, and they said that it was lost. Syra and Beta Copernicus. So my thought is, well, it's probably lost, but maybe it's not. And what if there's something there in the Copernicus star system that they would like? So, I had not been looking. This is a lot of, you know what? Let's chart a course, and we'll get to oh goodness, let's not chart a course. Let's fuel the ship up. Guiding it in, nice and smooth. Oops. Outfit the starship. So, oh goodness, I was looking at how much fuel it was going to cost to get there, and not how. Yeah, 33.6 out of our 210. We can afford that. Get going. So, up till now, I hadn't been looking at the star map that came with the game, because the first time I looked at it, I saw a bunch of the circles of influence, and I was like, I'm supposed to explore the galaxy. You're not supposed to tell me where all the aliens are. And so I immediately looked away, and I never looked at it. But now that I had 2 star systems that I wanted to find, and I did not want to search for them on the in-game star map, I was like, okay, I'm going to open up the file. I'm going to try to unfocus my eyes and not look at the alien spheres of influence. And I'm going to find the Copernicus star system. I'm going to see if I can find this 8-star system that might be Lynch Nas Plo. So I discovered pretty quickly as I scanned this thing that there's actually a notice on it that says these are the last known spheres of influence from prior to the enslavement of the planet Earth. So some of them are out of date. It does not reveal the whole universe. It is not a big deal. So then, pour it over the map. And I found the Copernicus star system, which the Betelgeuse star system would be a good waypoint for getting there. And I found a few star systems that sound like they could be a snake-like creature who swallowed the elephantine beast. Only 2 of those had 8 stars in them, or seemed to. It can be tough to tell on that map. But then, one of them is called like the Lyncis system. Lyncis. And I thought, well, what is it? Lynch? So that one's way up to the north of the map. So I'm not even sure I got the fuel to get there, but we'll check it out if we can. For now, though, let's go to this Copernicus star system. See if the ruins, the debris, whatever is there of Syreen might have something that can help us entice. Oh, look at the poor Pkunk heading to their doom. All right. I suspect, although I'm not going to find out on this playthrough, that the solution to the Pkunk problem is probably, it's like, I'm almost positive it's getting through to the Yehat and getting them back on team. And I suspect that, and I thought of an idea, which is that if this Admiral Vux, if I can get the thing he wants, he will give me Shofixti Maidens. I think if I have the Shofixti Maidens, I can get the one remaining Shofixti Starfighter to see reason and then get the Shofixti back. And maybe with the Shofixti Yehat connection, then maybe I could get through to the Yehat. That's not going to happen on a fast enough time scale to save the Pkunk today. But it's a thought. Okay, so now I'm just taking a look here. I can see where the Copernicus star system is. And so, let me find it. It's not this one. Gamma Mensae. It's around here somewhere. Gamma Copernicus. But Syra was in Beta Copernicus, right? Alpha. Alpha. Gamma. Probably this one's Beta. Beta. Beta Copernicus. Here we go. Chart a course. Ensign. Make it so. Oh, to return to, yeah, you were involved in hiring in your university. I wonder if yeah, I wonder what differences there might be between the process. I know that committees in our hiring process are assembled for each individual search, and there's rules about who can be on them. So it's essentially just like extra work. The way you're describing sounds like maybe there is like a committee might be set up, or people are involved in hiring procedures on a larger basis. But for us, it's all, you know, fit to purpose. Tell me more. I'd be fascinated to know. Here we are, Beta Copernicus. Well, let's let the suspense build, and, you know, if this turns out to be a red herring, it'll be nice to have retrieved some stuff, some resources. So what do we got here? It's a pellucid world. Without minerals, without energy, without any signs of life. I was hoping it might be an ultraviolet world, which sometimes have exotic, the most valuable kind of minerals in the entire galaxy. Ultramarine. Yeah, we got some noble elements. We got some, what's it? Weather's not bad. Tectonics aren't bad. Oh, you know what I haven't done, which I will now do. Set the CPU cycles down to 4,000 from 5,000. Okay, so that part's similar. There's the well, no, the and no. The extremely simple key combination to change the CPU cycle speed on DOSBox is a game changer all around. The space battles here, but also the piloting of the lander vehicle being major improvements when you reduce the speed by about 20% from the default. At the same time, for wizardry, which I've been playing, not for the benefit of the internet, because it would not be super exciting, I don't think, to watch me grind in wizardry and try to rescue my dead parties, new parties that I grind up for, well, not hours, fortunately, but grinding is not super interesting. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, there's a huge difference. I imagine that for professorships, it probably gets more into the weeds like that, especially when there's a lot of applicants. I think the fact that I am, an instructor of technical communication probably simplifies the process in some ways. No, that's not it. That's not the planet that I'm looking for. Okay. Well, we don't have to go in one at a time. You can jump around. Planet 5. The moon of Planet 5. If I can just get control of my inertia here. Fantastic. Here we go. Let's throw a scan down. It's a noble world. Lots of noble elements. Nothing down there. Noble elements aren't bad. There's also a few rare earths. I kind of wish sometimes, even though I'm sure the actual experience would be a little bit stressful. Wow, that system British sounds great. It really gets all the stakeholders involved, which is cool. I sometimes the stress of being evaluated would not be a great feeling, I'm sure, but I sometimes do wish that some of my colleagues or superiors would occasionally pop by one of my classes, because I know they know I'm good because the students tell them a lot, but then there's a part of me that's like, you don't really know. You've never seen it. You've never seen what I do. Seen the magic happening. And again, maybe they'd be like, it's not professional to make constant hip-hop references in your lectures. Something like that. It's how I relate to the kids, to today's youth, by telling them by making 20-year-old references to the hip-hop music of a guy who young folks probably know as a bust out a Jay-Z quote. Why's this guy quoting a businessman? But Jay-Z's not a businessman. He's a businessman. The kids don't understand. Alright. That sounds like a really good system. I not that I'm surprised. I won't claim to be an expert on German law, but even just things like the compositions of corporate boards sound much more balanced and socially beneficial than what we do in North America. So if those are corrosives, this sucks, and there's no real good reason to land here. If they're radioactives, There aren't that many of them, so it's still probably not necessary to land. And yet here we are, why not? Bromine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Planet 6. For nothing. Let's keep moving. I think I would love to see something like that for teaching positions in at our institution. It's a chlorine world, and it's class 7 tectonics. No thank you, even though you look cool, and you might have had one radioactive there. Okay, moving to the inner ring slowly. We'll find out soon enough if I was onto something, if I'm barking up the wrong tree. Then we have if I want to find out about my other hypothesis, that's an even longer process of tree barking. So we certainly will hope in that case that works out. Could it be a treasure world? You love to see it. So Planet 3, we're getting close to, what would have been the former orbit of Syra. Or something. I don't know. We'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. If there's anything to be had here. I remain optimistic. Something's got to go right. After all the time I invested in trying to talk the Pkunk out of getting themselves Urquand. We're not going down for just a couple more bits of gold. Even though it's extremely low risk, it's still just it's not exciting enough. Okay. Will that close-in planet? I do not think that's going to turn out to be. Yeah, I think. Who knows? Auric? Treasure? Treasure! Here we go. Well, even if this was a red herring, yeah, it's not wasted time, even if we don't find anything here that can help make the Syreen, Syra being their planet, feel a little braver. I don't know if you were here, last week. It's not canon in the game because I was killed and had to reload. But I met the Black Urquand and got the Urquand backstory. It was very compelling. Long ago, the Urquand were enslaved after they, through great effort, did I guess right what the A stands for in the name A. James? I don't even remember what I'm guessing. Refresh my memory, please. I can see visually that this was a gas giant. There was no need for me to fly past that. Oh! I did notice that, but I thought it might have been a typo. Captain A. Oh, Avatar. Is it Avatar? That makes sense. I got to, yeah, with the job applications and launching the semester and holidays were pretty busy too. I need to, once I have a background, like a stream overlay for Ultima 6, I want to fire it up. Don't know exactly how I'll balance two of these, but oh, I miss Britannia. I want to find out. Maybe not tomorrow. It'll depend. Yeah, like it shouldn't take me that much time. I just got to figure out like what's the background, what's the backdrop. I'm bored of just a solid color, but I don't think the star. I think the star field is a much clearly a much better fit for you know, this than for Ultima. So I got to think about that. If I can get that together, if I could get it together tomorrow, I'll do it. Yeah, or it might just be me doing this more. We'll see. A shattered world. Okay, so this is obviously what remains of Syra. I had a feeling that the energy scan was going to produce something for once. Oh my goodness. Did I have an idea? A hunch? And is it going to pay off? I got a good feeling. What is this thing? Report from surface. Unusual volcanic fumarole. We have found a fragment of some kind of biological encasement or shell, which is made of an incredibly tough, heat-resistant mat of fungal fibers. We can find no sign of any life form which may have hatched from this egg. Fungal sounds myconic to me. Can't find anything that hatched from the shell. We will bring back a sample of the material of the flagship for further study. End report. Glad to hear it. Okay. Now, despite the grave tectonics, there are riches to be had here between precious minerals and what look like radioactives. So we're gonna take a risk. Oh yeah, polonium. You know that's radioactive. All right, keep a close eye. No, all right. No. Don't want to explain this one to the parents. We had what we really needed, but we decided to just dither around for some bonus resources, and so your son is dead. But we were able to produce an extra 200 resource units. A suggestion. Oh, I have a thing that you might be interested in, British. So let me post in the chat, which I rarely do. So there's a really, really sad backstory to this video, which is that it was made by a young man who I not only met a couple times, but I had long. His mother was my MA thesis supervisor, and she's a dear friend to me, even if we haven't seen each other in a few years during this whole pandemic situation. And her son was a remarkable young man. You can probably guess the sad part from the past tense I'm using there. He was a savant of music and mathematics and computer programming. And he, like, for example, he was composing when he was like 3. When he was 5 years old, he threw out all his past work because he thought it had a juvenile fixation on melody. And what he was really wanted, like real composers are about complex harmonic movements. When he was 5, and you know, when I met him, he was around 12, 13, and he would just, I'd be over there like only a couple times, but he would just come over because he knew that I liked video games, and he'd have his DS, and he'd be like, check this out, and he'd show me, like, he'd have like Mario's New Super Mario Bros. And he'd go charging into a level, and he'd run to a specific spot, and then he'd make Mario do like a weird series of movements, and then he'd like jump at the perfectly right time, and Mario would like go into the walls and then start running around in the walls. Like he wasn't like on the internet looking up glitches. He was just, you know, just pouring himself into just like finding every spot where you can break the code of this game while playing the game. Anyway, he took his own life over the holidays, and his mother shared one of his last major YouTube projects, which I haven't fully checked out yet. I'm going to post the link right now. It's a video called Hackenbush, A Window to a New World of Math, and it's an hour-long exploration of a combinatorial game theory and the work of some mathematicians who worked on combinatorial game theory. Anyway, I'm making my way through it very slowly because I'm trying my best to understand and keep up, and I am not a person who can literally peer through the substrata of the universe like Owen was. But so far, just the video, like the production quality of the video is great, and I only got through the first 2 segments so far of this hour-long video, and so far it hasn't left me behind. I'm very confident it will, but it's fascinating, and yeah, just a horrible loss. Yeah, I feel fortunate that I got to meet him a few times, and his YouTube page also has tons of his music, and he was a very talented pianist. Probably has some electronic compositions up there too, because I think he'd like to fuse his various interests in math and programming and music. Yeah. Anyway, so that's my cool thing to share with a really, really sad backstory. Let's go back to Betelgeuse and see if we've discovered something that the Syreen will care about right now. Oh, British. That's awful. I haven't lost anyone close to me to suicide, fortunately, and I hope never to. My uncle's stepson took his own life, and that was really sad. I didn't know him that well, but certainly when we were kids, I saw him a fair bit, and I know I haven't reached out yet in words. I'm all care reacts and love reacts so far, because I hate when there's no words that'll actually do anything, get the job done, you know. So this is the heaviest episode of James Over Games ever, but. Getting back on point, I like that the cilantro. I mean, maybe they're programmed to lie, but I suspect it's true. No, never. I like the way that the cilantro drones yeah, sure. Here, we'll tell you what's up. This is our plan. We go around, we do this, do it 10 times. Anyway, time for you to die. Except, are they even aware that it's time for you to die? Okay. Need momentum. Key for an Earth cruiser. There. Well, oh my. Has it clicked? Or was that a fluke? We'll find out. But I kept my head. I knew... Yes, that's actually, as soon as I said time to die, I was like, they're not thinking about killing me. They're just they're just doing what I'm doing, harvesting resources. They know that they're making peaceful contact, but I do agree with you, British, that I do not think the cilantro are malevolent in that sense. Like, not like the Black Urquan. We're like, yes, we will kill everything so that we can never be enslaved again. Yeah, I thought that Urquan backstory. The one thing I remembered from reading about the game long in the past was the existence of an alien race that had been psychically enslaved and then discovered that pain was the secret to breaking it, and so invented a device called the Excruciator so that they could be in pain all the time so they could free themselves. I did not know that that was the backstory of the Urquan, let alone that there's an Urquan civil war between those who think like, all we need to do here is enslave the galaxy, and those who think, no, we need to eradicate everything to be sure that we can't be enslaved again. So it was really interesting to find out that they've got that story. Ah, thank you. I find you pleasant as well, and it's quite warm for greeting. I don't want to insult her outfit. And, okay. I might need to take what we found back home to Earth first. At any rate, we've got a decent haul, I think. Not like a ton, but that's a respectable haul. I probably should have done some of the other Copernicus systems while I was out there, but I don't know. Is there anything I haven't done that I could hit? Oh, it's sad watching the Pkunk head on to meet their fate. Don't think we're going to be able to pull it off to save them. Alright, we'll hit this Mense system on the way, just for the sake of seeing if we can collect some more resources. And then maybe when we get back to Earth, we'll find out something about whatever it was that I found in the ruins of Syrah. And I gotta believe that this is a quest line that results in the Syreen getting on board. I remember when I played Star Control 1 really liking the Syreen ships. Enjoy cooking, British. Anyone else there? There we go. I was about to say, someone else got a sound off in the chat. Waffle syrup, hello. Despite my declaration on Thursday, we didn't wind up doing Friday Night Forgotten Circles for a reason you can probably imagine. 3 of us had power, but the 4th one did not. And on top of that, I was not confident even if power came back for the 4th. I didn't want to go on 2 nights in a row and then have another power outage happen for any of us. That just, especially with that play, like the extremely complicated setup for that particular Gloomhaven scenario, Forgotten Circle scenario we're on. How are you doing, Waffle Syrup? Come on. Okay, lots of moons here. Glad to hear it. Nice. My weekend so far is chill, although it might start getting pretty busy once I'm off of here. Gotta prolong this experience for as long as I can. So I'm 99% sure I know what you're talking about, Waffle Syrup. Has the Marvel Cinematic Universe produced a What If series that does the traditional Marvel What If stories? Super dense on this world. There are super dense life forms down there. On to the next one. Ooh, I do like that. I'll say one, like, the Marvel movies are not my thing for a variety of reasons. Beyond just this one, but and the DC movies for that matter. I just I think the superheroes work better as cartoons in animation. Not that they necessarily need to be bright and colorful, although they can be. I think that that's something the Marvel Cinematic Universe has gotten right, that a lot of the DC films have struggled with. The idea that not everything needs to be horribly grim and dark. Like, those Superman movies. God. It's Superman, people. This is not supposed to be a grim and gritty. Yeah, they can do cooler things. Have I done this Saurus? Let's do the Saurus system, whatever that is, on the way home. Oh, we gotta add Alpha Mensae. No, I don't need to add that now. Gotta remember the order to do things that results in the most compelling content, to the extent that the hyperspace process while I type in a spreadsheet can be compelling at all. Okay. Got nothing much there. And we're on to Gammasaurus, which we will also search. Search the Saurus systems here. I'm thinking that's a Salandro chasing me. This is not a Salandro coming from this direction. Well, I want to know. This could turn out to be a terrible idea, but I'm curious. Spathy. Can I bluff them into not fighting? Yeah. It's all good. Yes. Oh, no. I won't say a word. And this is probably the Salandro, and there's not going to be any coming or going in peace here. And yet, can I keep the streak alive? Alright, Captain Adama. Go. Thrusters. Thrusters. Ah! Well, at the very least I can say that that was a joystick problem. I was trying to get my thrusters going. Okay. That doesn't count as the... No. Doesn't count. Game cheats. Okay. Did not go well for the Earthlings. But in both cases, it's this horrible controller. I'm trying to press forward and I'm just spinning. If you don't get up... Yeah. The thing is, and I cracked this in my first ever, like, good, flawless victory over a Salandro with an Earthling Cruiser. The answer is the Earthling Cruiser needs to get to full thrusters immediately to survive in the battle. And it can't... It can turn around to fire, but it can't put the thrusters on in that direction. Because you need that momentum, because if the Salandro close on you, it's all over. But then twice now, I'm pressing forward on this stupid, cheap PC gamepad analog stick. And... Oh, come on. Whiffo for the win. Okay, let's go. Explore these Saurus star systems, get back to Earth, find out what we can about the interesting samples found on Syra. And then hopefully we can tell the Syreen about them and they'll be like, oh, wow. Well done, Captain James. And they'll get on board. Oh, this is literally just a star. Is it? Or if I get in really close? No, there's one hidden planet. a violet planet very close to the sun. It's pellucid. It has exactly one exotic mineral. So, I mean, we might as well. But, 4 Zoe crystals. Thank you, Gammasaurus. Try Betasaurus. Certainly not an impressive. It's one of the dinosaurs that more like closely resembles like a large turkey. Like what the actual velociraptors look like as opposed to Jurassic Park velociraptors. Which is not to say that a large reptilian turkey that can kill you very quickly with its sharp claws is not a kind of cool enemy. A hydrocarbon world. Sweet. We can. No, we're not We are not returning the Earth of 2157 to reliance on fossil fuels. Yeah, wouldn't even need to be reptilian. Just a regular killer turkey would freak me out. Okay, here we go. Alphasaurus. Didn't even have time to record that Betasaurus didn't give up much. That's okay. I'll get them both down on our way back to the Sol system. The solar system you and I call home. Although not Captain James, who is from the Vela system. Okay, here we go. It's worth it for some noble gases. Anything alive down there? Hey! Get some biological samples too. I hate the moving ones. Although at least it occurs to me, I don't think I've dealt with the moving ones since getting the speed under control here. And yes, indeed, they are easier to aim at when you are not running the game overclocked in your DOS emulator. Now, despite the fact that by default GOG's app setup here for Star Control is running the game 1,000 PC cycles faster than it needed to be, for the most part, I would like to say that I really appreciate their the degree of convenience that they apply, because I am old enough to have memories playing games in DOS and early, Windows 3.1, Windows 95. You just don't understand, you young folks like you, waffle syrup, what it's like to spend forever getting the game installed, often having to free up space every time you want to install a new game, and then the struggle to get it to acknowledge your. We're lost half the crew of this ship. We gotta be careful here. Get it to acknowledge your sound cards so you can have audio, and then when the transition to 3D graphics and you had to get a graphics card working and configured too. Oh, it was painful. Especially because this is also in the age of game rentals. So you go to the video game store, you rent a game, and 30% of your rental period could have been spent just friggin' with the configuration and restarting your computer and uninstalling drivers and reinstalling them. I remember British laughing in the late 90s me and my friend rented like a 4-year-old game, and it was like, under the installation instructions, it was like, this game requires 5 megabytes of disk space. You'll probably need to free up some space. And we're like, that doesn't sound right. That's silly. What are you talking about? Oh, right. This one I'm done with. And we made out very well. In fact, on the way back to the Syreen, we just might swing by and see our buddies the Melnorme, owners of the best song so far in the game. Although I'm also partial to the Spathy song. I mean, there's not a single song I don't like. And I'm blanking on who it was. But, it certainly is up for debate. This game is packed to the gills with great music. And it's so varied. You know, like the Urquan songs are great in a way that is utterly unreal. British, thank you. That's very kind. What am I trying to say here? Yeah, so a lot would depend on your taste, right? Like the very serious, foreboding Urquan song. Like if that's the kind of thing that appeals to you, then yeah, you're not going to be like, yeah, the Melnorme. I can't remember the melody. It'll come to me as soon as I hear it again. Once I hear the lead in. But yeah, soundtrack here is terrific. Yeah, and a viewer from last week, or possibly the week before, suggested I check out some of the remixes, and I've only checked out the one remix that viewer suggested to me so far. It was an Urquan Masters remix. In fact, do I still have it open? Can I just say what it is? Yes, again. The YouTube title is Precursors, Urquan Now and Forever remix, and it's a fine tune. It was pretty cool. But I love a peppy, wacky melody, so I don't keep all of my tabs open, Waffle Syrup, but I'm very judicious about when I close them. So if somebody told me about something, but it's not like something I would want a bookmark of, then I keep it open until I'm mentally done with it. And I got to give that remix a good listen on a better audio system. So I got to keep it open so I remember the title until I can put it on my phone and like cast it to a Bluetooth speaker or something. Because just the PC speakers aren't going to do it justice. It's very moody, and it's a later remix, so I'm sure that it's got broader sound compression and all that. Now I've one of my things since my ADHD diagnosis last year has been not last year, over a year ago, back in late 2019, has been to my goodness, the time, late 2020, has been getting my tabs under control. So like, I've got 8 tabs open on my phone, but I used to have like 40 because I would be like, I'm gonna read this someday. No, you're not, kid. Stop kidding yourself. Yeah, right now, what do I got? Except for the tabs that I need open to do this stream, I've got 4 other tabs. So not too many. Got that under control. Which, yeah, the invention of tab browsing was probably one of the worst things that ever happened to my brain. So, working my way down has been a great benefit to me. On my work computer, it can get kind of nightmarish. I'll have multiple bright space tabs and like something I had to open on the website, and then like I've got like 15 PDFs that need my attention for different reasons. Okay. What do I want to do here? Well, first I want to report to the commander, see if we get news of stupid joystick. I hate it. I should just learn what the keyboard control. No, it's not that I gotta learn the keyboard controls. It's that I need to get the keyboard mapping program working because... Oh, a distress call. Oh, no, no. I mean, they were worse than Zabanki. Yeah, when I found the Zoq-Fot-Pik, I was their solar system was riddled with black Urquan. So I had a strong feeling that I was surprised they weren't already destroyed. So they're in trouble now. I guess we gotta go. We gotta change course. Well, we can swing by the Syreen on the way without wasting too much time. If I'm remembering correctly where Alpha Tucanae is. And I'm almost positive that I am. Do not want the Zoq-Fot-Pik to be extirpated. I'm very fond of them. They're way cooler than the Pkunk. I like the Pkunk, but the Pkunk are... Yeah, we're keeping it blazing, Commander. Sorry, almost called you Captain. Look at me, I am the Captain now. Alright. The analysis reads... Mycon egg case. So far, the analysis tells us nothing that I didn't just identify from the rudimentary description. That's a wild height variance. Ah. I guess it could be a... Alright, so there could be a giant Mycon. Not good. Or maybe they all... probably... It's strongly encouraging me to believe that there's a large Mycon, and not that actually they all hatch like 50 to an egg or something. I don't think the math could work out because, like we said, wild height range there. Okay, let's crew back up. Oh, and fleet back up. I am reckless with my Earth cruisers. What are you gonna do? Okay. And fuel. I think I need to start putting date or time stamps or something in my save file names so that I know which one to do. So we're going to kick that tradition off in just a moment. Okay, back to a full tank. Now, save from... I don't think it actually matters where I save from, but save here. Okay. So, let's rename this one. Alright. We're rescuing the Zoq-Fot-Pik, or quite possibly failing to rescue them. We shouldn't rule out that possibility at the outset here. But one thing I feel very confident of is that if we're able to get there and they're still alive and I can fight my way to them, they're not going to obnoxiously refuse to be rescued like the Pkunk. Look at the Pkunk. The overlapping spheres of influence now. Sad to see. Okay, yeah, so, alright. Yeah, absolutely. Alpha Tucanae is up in here somewhere. Right? I don't leave anyone to... there's Alpha Tucanae. Captain James does not leave anyone to die unless he's told them repeatedly that they're going to die if they do the thing they're doing and they refuse to stop, and it just gets too frustrating. And you gotta... If your kid will not stop trying to climb on the stove, your kid needs to touch the burner. In this particular... I don't have children, and that's probably terrible parenting advice. You probably should just continue trying to keep your kid from touching the burner, but if the kid does touch the burner, it's going to learn a lesson. It's just unfortunate that Pkunk touching the burner is probably going to involve being genocided, but it is what it is. All right, we're going to go chat with the sexy Syreen, respectfully ignoring the multiple dialogue options that assume I'm a nerd who has never kissed a girl in the early 90s, and see if does our information about the Mycon interest them. Who knows? If nothing else, I mean, they gave us a clue. They told us something about the Mycon. But it would be great if it also helped us. Oh ho! Here we go. Alright. Yes, waffle syrup, you missed it. But now Captain James is a fancy. My first name is just an initial. Not unlike my grandfather, R. David Ross. Graham. Ah! Okay, this one they just started right on top of me. What am I supposed to do about that? Well. Yeah, that did not... Alright. I think if I lose both Earth cruisers right now, we're just going to save scum. There. That's the way we like it. Alright, well, let's just carry on for now. We will assign more crew to this one Earth cruiser. And back on the road. Can you guess what the A stands for, waffle syrup? I'm sure you can. It's an identity I had long ago in a distant land, before I was Captain James. Yes, the once and future Avatar. If I can... I'm not confident I can, but if I get an overlay done that I like by tomorrow... Because I don't want to repeat this, like the first episode just looks like shit that I did with Star Control. If I can get it ready, we'll launch Ultima 6 tomorrow. If not, it'll probably be next weekend or the weekend after. 2 concurrent Let's Plays. Not exactly sure how that's going to work. But, because I'm certainly, I have no waning interest here. I'm still into this. At the same time, my goodness. Ships chasing me all over the galaxy. I need to do more of that, because that would be a very nice thing to have for the Ultima 6 Let's Play. I suspect everything I can find about how to do it in OBS here doesn't get into any more detail than the not adjustable version that I got up last time. So it might turn out that this is a time for me to take the leap and check out Streamlabs OBS. But we'll see. Like this is where it starts to get like, I'm not sure how quick this is gonna happen. Okay, I wish to tell you about something, but I can't. Oh, the Streamlabs chat thing can be... Okay, then I will look into that. Well, let's... Okay. I don't like that these dialogue choices are here, but this one is a little less insulting than, like, the very first one, where it was like, I'm the ethics police, justify that outfit, as though an outfit that a woman chooses to wear has anything to do with ethics. But it is kind of... There is some absurdity to the outfit. Ooh. I should have known she would just say something sexy. Oh, and then we get more dialogue. Yeah. Brutal. Maybe, now that she's talking about the cataclysm, maybe that... Whew. Well, it's not literally gone. It's just horrible. Yeah. Woo. Death by Snoo Snoo. What about the... If there were 500 males, what happened? Okay, so the Mycon discovery does nothing here. So perhaps I need to explore further around where that place was. The Copernicus system. I mean, maybe it's just... I mean, also, I know there's something about how the Syreen have some kind of relationship to the Mycon, so perhaps it's possible... Perhaps there's a more to go there. Okay, here we go. Really, really want this to work out. The Zoq-Fot-Pik are lovable. The Black Urquan, not so much. They're intriguing. It certainly deepened my understanding of the Urquan when I met the Black Urquan last week, which is currently non-canon since after I learned a bunch of stuff from him, but then he still had to kill me. It's not easy to defeat one Urquan in battle, and I had to defeat many. I defeated one, but I could not beat them all. My goodness. We might... Oh my goodness, something just popped out of... into lightspeed or hyperspace or cloaking, but... Good thing we have the fastest possible ship we could have right now. Here we are. It's not promising. There are no ships to greet us. I think we've already explored this moon, but we're gonna come in slowly. Yeah. It wasn't Auric World because I love gold. I had already stripped it clean. Hey, will we get an interaction here? Yeah. Okay, so there's something still alive. Doesn't look like a friendly Zoq-Fot-Pik stinger ship. And when I say doesn't look like, I mean isn't, because I have 2 stinger ships in my fleet. They look like this. This sinister looking dreadnought is in fact a black Urquan dreadnought. Look at this thing. You cleanse your destiny. Okay. Oh, soon die. Well, I appreciate you giving me the chance to do my rituals. So, by pure coincidence, given this series of dialogue choices, I picked this one first last time, and it's significant. So I'll do it again. I said the words. Spoken the words, and I spoke them rightly. Weird coincidence that one of my options would be the exact wording that long ago the Dinyari, the Talo, our only friends whom we exterminated. Brutal. And why they cleansed the galaxy of all our sentient life. See, this is the ideological disagreement between the black and green Urquan, is whether they need to cleanse the galaxy of sentient life or just subjugate the galaxy, the universe. Thousands of years. Like, I appreciate your trauma. Yeah, waffle syrup, like, yeah, the Urquan will cleanse and or subjugate the entire universe, but they won't pay for therapy. So the Gzurza are the green Urquan. Korh-Ah, Zurza. 6 races of the sentient milieu. The Talo, the only species they ever called friend. And who are these Talo? Yeah, the Urquan are like bobcats in that they as soon as they have been hatched and they can support themselves, they hate everything else, and even their own parents. Unusual rock-like biology, which gave them natural immunity to the Dinyari's psychic compulsion. The Dinyari, not good. So they took control of the 6 races, and then they made the Urquan wipe out their friends. The Talo wouldn't even fight back. Like, this is legitimately tragic. It's not like it's not sympathetic that this was done to the Urquan. It's just the kind of thing where there are healthier ways to deal with pain. Now this is the one detail I remembered of the game. Didn't even remember it was related to the Urquan from when I read about it in the 90s, because it's really compelling. Psychic enslavement. We've already heard that part. But the solution is... Snobs versus the Slavs. Korh-Ah, black. Xurza, green. But you haven't told us. Thank you. Like, you're getting tired of talking. You just answered my question without all this preamble. Intense pain is the secret to breaking their psychic compulsion. So they invented a device called the excruciator, so they could be in horrible pain all the time. And no, I cannot comprehend what that would be like. Well, okay. There's more we must hear. Okay. Here's why he felt compelled to share his story. The Melnorme. Xurza show up. So I'm thinking the Melnorme are the Melnorme. I do understand you. Much better. Thing is, of course, he doesn't want to hear my word. I don't know if they have a two-sex model like our species, the humans. But yeah, it's just it's a bad scene. It's not a... Oh yeah, these things have very impressive weapons. Well, landed a few hits on this bad guy. I'm not comfortable sending Fwifo into this fight, that's for sure. Let's see. Yeah, they have both the saw blade weapons, in addition to doing a ton of damage. Every one that they shoot out, it doesn't just leave into the vacuum of space. It eventually stops and becomes a death obstacle. And then they have their like bullet hell move. Neither of these are good. They're tough to deal with. All right. I do not think, given, we've shown up and the Zoq-Fot-Pik are gone, killed by Death 13 of the Korh-Ah, I do not think this is going to be an effective counter agent, but let's try. You know what? I actually did get very close to them there with the stinger weapon. Like, the answer is probably to try to do it with the precursor. I'm going to try one more time to get in there with the secondary stinger weapon and just get one big hit on these jerks. Got much faster than them. But they have so much. Ha! Wibble, thank you for sharing. I've said this before, but I love the tonal balancing act of this game between like utter silliness and the absolute like both like the dark seriousness of the overall story, but also the get away and recharge a bit. don't hit the planet. Okay, I hit the planet. It's not going well. We're probably going to have to do this again. But maybe not. Yes. Yeah, Wibble, British, has already told me about the very appropriately named butt missile of this Pathy. It's a... Oh, we did save them! We got your message. And it should. It is cruelty to animals is a thing that sets people off all across the galaxy. Well, to an extent. Okay, I'll take it. I'm not very good at piloting those ships. The only way that's going to work out is if I don't use them at all. You sent out a group of Stinger starships, specially modified for long-range reconnaissance. Orders are a report back with information on the war. Civil War. Okay. Yeah, so what's new? You know, besides the thing last week. You had a close call like up to 10 minutes ago. This is a separate close call than the one that just ended. It certainly did. So yeah, any news on this war? Yeah, of course not. Because you just told me that you just sent these... You would have shared the information at that time. You got any specific information? Probably this is going to open a sub-menu. Oh, goodness. This is all I want to know. Right now. That's terrific. I like his watching tennis approach to his cohort's conversation with me. Alright, so this was really bad on the whole, but we saved them. The big problem, of course, is that the Korh-Ah and the Urquan spheres of influence are practically the same. They sort of count as a Venn diagram, but just barely. But what I want to know, hold on. Yeah, here are the Lindsys systems. Now, if I want to fly there, I think my best bet is to not go through Urquan space and not to go right now while we're decimated. Did I do these Capricorny planets? If I did, I forgot to write them down. So, on account of having taken on... Yes! Waffle syrup. I did. In fact, I just had to go... I finished it just now as I trailed off. I typed in the words nothing much for what I found there. Okay, so... The big if is if we can get... British, I think the idea is that they are fighting, in addition to carrying out their own objective of cleansing the galaxy of life, they are fighting a civil war. There is a renewed civil war. Earlier, I suspected that the reason that the Urkons suddenly retreated to their own sphere of influence was the encroaching Slilandro threat, and maybe that is what it is. But it could also be that the return of the Korh-Ah was what made them go like, oh, geez, you know, we probably have these humans under control. Let's just get out of here for now. Or we have everything under control. Let's get out of here for now. Okay. So the big question is, can we get out of here? If I can't get out of here alive, I'm not going to do a new save. We'll accept a game over, and we'll try to do it again more effectively. And, of course, I'll rapidly skip through the dialogue instead of staring at it and commenting on it as it appears. I really wish I could have used the "what is that you're hovering above" dialogue option to find out what, like, is that a pit of bones? Like, is that their food that they eat and spit out? Do they just have an aesthetic preference to be hovering above a terrifying bone pit? Both of those seem plausible, given what we know about the Korh-Ah. Boy, I'd really just like it if these folks would stop chasing me as I lead. I don't want to lead a multiple genocidal armies back to Earth, if I can help it. Alright, Alpha Capricorni. I certainly hope your one planet was worth this stop. Oh, goodness. It occurs to me, I gotta pull some crew back in order to not wind up like Fwifo as the only person. This is frustrating because those radioactives will be nice to have. Okay, so we got to recall some. Not that many. Let's take a few from each ship. A couple from each ship. So we feel a little bit better about staffing levels. Do another scan. Actually, of course there's life down there. We're going to do our best to avoid the life because the tectonics are disastrous. This could all go real bad real fast. Giant mouse-eared Mickey Mouse looking freaks. Sweet iodine, get out of there. We didn't lose anyone. Yeah. I have not picked... I don't know. I don't have any kind of color blindness, but I cannot pull off... I cannot pull off saying for sure whether I'm going down for corrosives or radioactives. Corrosives. Which I knew, of course, when I saw that they were iodine. Ah, well. I mean, nobody died, so in the end it was okay. Alright, I need to keep moving. Have I done Epsilon Ceti? No. Just really hoping to find something of value in one of these systems so that I can crew my ship back up and head out on another expedition that will hopefully be less disastrous. Not great, Bob. Slilandro. Alright, let's just get right down to business. Ah, damn it. almost nailed him with the butt missile. I see your message, British. You can imagine why I'm not able to read it right now, but it's there. I will be replying. Okay. Ah! They shot the butt missile. Right out of the air. This battle's not going well for Fwifo. Oh, hit the planet like a dummy. When I was finally being oh my goodness, no luck here. When I was finally being responsible and reading the manual, I was amused to find that when it's explaining the space combat, it's like to simulate like 3D space. Like there's like arcade style wraparounds. And as you get closer and further away, the perspective will shift, and sometimes the ships will jump around the screen, and then it says, this will be very disorienting at first, but in time it'll seem very natural. And it actually does, but it's funny to think of the writing the manual and being like, we better explain to people not to be put off by how horrendously difficult this is at first. Ah, well, there it is. We're doing this a second time, hopefully with much greater success. But probably not, but we'll see. In the meantime, let's see if I can get anything. No, obviously, the Zoq-Fot-Pik with their main weapon being an up-close thing are not going to be the answer here. British, I haven't and I really should. Because it's, of all the thralls, battle thralls, they really do seem like they would be the ones that would be the easiest to persuade the CF Fwifo himself. And being able to build more looters would be great because, well, we're surviving. I mean, Fwifo's dead, so it doesn't count as surviving. But alright, okay. I mean, it's good that I've upgraded the precursor enough. Okay, here we go again. But this time, successfully. Right? Yeah. We have very few resource units right now. So this mission needs to involve finding some stuff on the way back or on the way out. I also have all these biological samples still on board, don't I? We should make this a multi-step trip because we ought to go to Zeman. Alright. Chart a course. Ensign. Make it so. Yeah. I think I want to finish chasing. I mean, I got to do this thing that is like presented to me. And I got to have my feet back on the ground with resource units and stuff. And restoring my fleet. Assuming I'm being pessimistic and assuming my fleet is going to once again be obliterated here. Haha! Not engaging with that Slalandro thanks to some crafty autopilot. And then I wanna get up to this Linsis system and see if I'm chasing the thread of what Admiral Vux wants me to do. And then I think my absolute next time there's nothing pressing and there's not that one thing nagging in the back of my mind, I think going into Spathi space and trying to find their home planet and just be like, hey, you cowardly little nerds, like the Urquan aren't around right now, we are. So shouldn't you do what we say? Because probably something like that will actually work. Okay. Can never remember what planet my Melnorme buddy is around here. And I believe I've checked these worlds out, but I'll check them. I don't think planets ever it's a Uria world anyway. One of the worst kinds of worlds. Nobody goes there anymore. Too much urea. Ah, yes. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. He's on the go. So we'll just keep hitting planets here. Hope he shows up. I mean, I have another location of a Melnorme, and maybe that one is more grounded. I'm not sure, Wibble. I'll have to... Aha! Here's my buddy. Oh, hey, sweetheart. You're right. Brief intermission, folks. I blew right through lunchtime for the kiddies, but just 1 second. And we're back. So, while I was gone, Wibble, I think I did go to that very nearby star. I think. Because I had to go there manually, because like I couldn't even target it with the autopilot, for the reason that you say. I think I've been there. What? Okay, so obviously some sort of cloaked vessel. All this biological, all my alien data. Great. Alright, 216 credits. Can you sell me finishing your thought from earlier? Okay. Who knows? Hold on. Like, I probably should be buying some information, but I gotta check out the technology, because if they have some cool thing, I want it. Blueprints which show how to add double capacity fuel tanks. That's promising, but it feels less urgent than perhaps some useful information. So let's get some information this time. Okay. Yeah, this is... I'm not paying you for this. Are you kidding me? Well, that was infuriating. I'm done buying your information for now. No. Have a nice day. I understand the idea is that I should have been buying information from the Pkunk, from the Melnorme frequently. Oops. Didn't mean to enter planetary orbit here. Nothing worth going down for. Okay, let's go out and double check. Did I go to that other star system? Is there anything there? I think we're going to get ambushed as soon as we leave, but that's okay. Right. I mean, frankly, if I do a terrible job in this fight, you... Why you gotta lie? No, it's true. They're here in peace until the priority override occurs. It's not a lie. It's just... Okay, there. Thrusters up. And then it's just all about timing your shots well to keep them at bay so they can't close on you. But then shooting when they're close enough that you land a hit. That was frustrating. There we go. Alright. I'll call that a success. Oh, duh. Okay. I will just pilot the ship with the keyboard like a sensible person. There we go. Oh yeah, Vela. Yes, I did go to Vela because that's where I make my home. What did I write down about it? Which planets did I check here? For some reason I didn't record. All I recorded was that I found my home and not that I had done some checking planets. So let's see. I mean, if we scan them and they're, been stripped clean, that'll be a strong sign. But yeah, I did find my way back to Vela, which is cool. Corrosives, right? And yet, I mean, while I'm here, I might as well grab something. Because if we don't hit any mother loads during the difficult journey home, then every little bit will help. Wait. Yeah, corrosives. Wait, are these... I believe these are all just corrosives. I know that iodine is, and they all look the same. Certainly don't need the commons. Okay. Just confirm for my own sake. Oh, you're right, Wibble. Okay, I'll go back. I do this a lot. The base metal color choice is easy to distinguish from the common elements thing, but because it's gray, it always makes me... I always look at it and think, oh, those are just commons. Yeah, corrosives and a few base metals. Every little bit is going to help in this particular situation. So, I'll take it. Let's, might as well check out the rest of this little system. I'm not sure if I tried to, like, learn anything about Vela here. Or if I can learn anything about Vela here. You know what? Just in case, let's save with this mission in progress. There we go. You would never believe me if I said that I used to be really good at asteroids. With the difficulty that I have just touching a planet here. It's a water world, but we can't scan it. I wonder And now, of course, many in the audience will... many. I'm not sure exactly what the audience is right now. But experienced ones will know the answer to this. But I wonder if there's ever going to come a time, very small number of nobles, nothing living down there, but it barely takes any fuel to land. And like I said, every little bit's going to help. So let's land and scoop it up. But yeah, if there will ever be a way to bust through some slave shields, you know? Lift them. Who knows? Hey. Is that all? Is this only a 3-planet system? Oh, let's see. No, this is plenty of planets in this system. Maybe this gas giant has moons. It doesn't. But I'm not psyching myself out and landing, trying to orbit a gas giant for no reason. What do we got here? A vinylogous world covered with base metals, and actually I think a few commons. It's looking pretty safe, and yeah, we need everything. We need whatever we can get for whatever devastation the Black Urquhart are about to wreak on us, and whatever damage we take on the retreat home. I'm going to avoid the commons because commons suck. I'll just wind up either jettisoning them, or not really caring that I had them in the first place. Ooh, some potassium. Okay. Picked up a load of bananas here on this vinylogous world. And, I mean, by the time we get back, it won't be good for anything with banana bread, but nothing wrong with that. Banana bread's great. Oh, Pkunk. I'm sorry. I solemnly promise, Pkunk. Ah. Wibble, I should have paid more attention to that. Oh well. Should have paid more attention. Story of my life. Okay. We gotta shoot through Orr's space here. I suppose I don't have to. I should try to arrive in good condition. So why don't I shoot to here and go from there. Yeah. If there's ever a second Star Control 2 playthrough in my future, which is very likely because, as you've let me know, Wibble, there's a decent chance of me winding up in an unwinnable state. I assume that's some combination of resource catastrophe, where you've found all the near and helpful resources. Something like that, plus the ongoing march of time conspiring against you. But if I reach that unwinnable state, I do imagine I would play again and try to take advantage of all my knowledge gained in the failed attempt to run it down again. But if I do that, I'm making a solemn promise to you, Pkunk, right now. I will figure out how to save you. Oh, absolutely British. And like I said, these are probably going to wind up running concurrently because I want to get Ultima 6 going. Gosh, I love the Ultima games. Alright, here we go. Boom. Meanwhile, in my not being broadcast playthrough of, pardon me, Wizardry, the original Wizardry, I'm in a catastrophe cycle because I got my first ever total party kill that didn't involve any nonsense. By which I mean no enemies with one-hit kill powers, didn't walk into any pits, I didn't get teleported into a wall. My party got killed, utterly wiped out, just because we... Uh-oh. This is not good. Really should have taken manual control faster. Alright, forget it. We'll try this again. And I guess we get the fuel back from my wasteful landing there. So that's nice. So yeah, my good party got wiped out. Oddly enough, my good party is actually the rescue party that I made to save my original good party. And they succeeded, and then they went down a level and got themselves killed. So then I had to start training the rescue party up. But it's just been a comedy of errors and unsuccessful efforts here. I don't want to fight you right now. Oh, fine. We'll fight right now because I tried to take manual control without using the keys, using the stupid joystick. Okay. It's okay. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Captain Spiff. Spaceman Spiff. We got a Calvin and Hobbes reference here. Which is cool. That was frustrating. I need to get moving. Oh, hit the planet. Infuriating. Oh, I hit myself with the butt missile. Well, how times have changed from like an hour and a half ago when I had a flawless victory over the Salandro and thought that I'd turned the corner. At least that one made it easy. Okay, no. We break the time stream to save Fwifo. Exactly, Happy Camper. It's I have multiple friends who are trying to potty train their kids right now, and from what I understand, this is one of the essential lessons you want to teach a kid when you're potty training them, is to... Yes, hello, Happy Camper. How are you? Waffle Syrup, poor Fwifo keeps dying, but Fwifo never truly dies. Because, yeah, like I gather most Star Control 2 players, I am too attached to Fwifo to take my lumps whenever he dies. I will always, even if everything else was going well. Must be, right? Yeah, so welcome to the stream, Happy Camper. May I ask, what's your level of Star Control 2 familiarity? For my part, it's just what you see here mostly. I played for a couple hours in an aborted playthrough before I was like, this is stream worthy. Oh, Happy Camper is a reference. All right. Well, there. See, there. That captures my level of knowledge. I did not get the reference. Oh, wow. So your Star Control experience would not be anything like mine. At least your recent Star Control experiences won't be anything like mine, because I'm certainly not getting anything done efficiently, or necessarily at all. But I'm having a ton of fun. For my part, Happy Camper, it was like 20 something years ago for me when I heard of this game, when the internet first came, and as a young voracious reader who was just constantly wanting to learn about things, but not necessarily important intellectual things, but things like, what are the cool video games I've never heard of? I was reading a series of retrospectives on classic PC games of the late 80s, early 90s, and this was one of the ones I read about. Okay, we got a deviate course here, and then from here, I think the auto pilot will get me there, and it did. Okay. Yeah, so Happy Camper, when I heard of the game and never had access to it, and then could have had access to it, I suppose, many times in the past, especially 15 years. But it never occurred to me until very recently. When I started, I got a good laptop for the first time, good gaming computer, and I've been using it primarily to play very old games. And I was like, I remembered Star Control popped into my head, and I was like, I should check this out, see if it's and it's exactly everything that I imagined it to be when I read about it as a young man. So that's been a delightful surprise. Writing everything down has been a thing as I've been getting into classic PC games that I was fascinated by as a kid and overlooked, because I always wanted to play Ultima in particular when I was a kid. And all right, so I'm not skipping through this because I think it's unimportant. It's because I've read it twice now. But I still want it to happen, just in case there's some, checkbox. The games keep... Whoops. Okay. Right. Yep. Okay. Tell us about yourselves. Ding, 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 ding. And... yeah, in the 90s, I did have access to many of the Ultima games through a collection of... a CD-ROM collection of classic RPGs I had. And I could, even though I wanted to play them since I was young, because my buddy had Ultima 6 and we were fascinated by it, even though we couldn't get anywhere. I tried all the, 1 through 5, I think I had on this classic collection, and a Calabath, although I don't think I ever played that. And I just couldn't get anywhere with any of them. Even the good ones, like 4 and 5 and 3. I understand 1 and 2 aren't necessarily regarded as well. And I couldn't get anywhere. And part of it was that I was just not of the mindset to be talking to every NPC and writing down the things they said. I even got in trouble in some much more linear JRPGs that I played around that age, because I had, as it turned out, I had undiagnosed ADHD, so I had an excuse. But yeah, so when I played Ultima 4 recently, I loved it, but I only wrote down information that I thought was directly pertinent to the main things I knew I was supposed to be doing. And then I got to the end, and I was like, oh man, I gotta find like a bell and a book and a candle or something. And I knew I'd talked to NPCs about those, but I hadn't written those things down. So at that point I realized, well, I could go around and talk to every NPC in this game again. So I just started like reading transcripts on a wiki. And then I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I want to go into the next one blind. So I did Ultima 5 pure blind with a spreadsheet where I recorded everything. Well, I think British could correct me on that. Recorded most things and then missed some random things that I really should have recorded. Yeah, so now, here in Star Control 2, can't show it to you. I should set the stream up so I can pop it up. Not that it's that interesting to look at. But I've got both a search log of every star system I visited and what I found there, and an info log of just any worthwhile things that have been said to me or told to me. And it is paying off. It's not going to pay off fast enough to save the Pkunk in this particular playthrough. At this point, I think I have the thread that could save the Pkunk, but even if my theory is right, there's no chance I'm going to execute it fast enough before they get there for their misguided family reunion. Okay. Do I want to send Spaceman Spiff in to try to get a few hits before we let the precursor ship, the returner, do the main fight? I think that is what we want to do. Okay. Getting thrusters up. And now... Nope. That, I mean, frankly, that's much better than my previous Earthling cruisers have done just by casually firing while waiting to be killed. So, what are you going to do? Alright, I want to try once to get in there with this damn Stinger weapon. It's not going to work. Especially if I'm going to be hitting the stationary saw blade weapons. Ah, I pointed in the wrong direction. I could have stung them a little. Okay. Alright. Time to bite the bullet and go in there with the flagship. Okay, just let my battery recharge. I am slowly learning what type of player I am, Happy Camper. I couldn't give you a definitive answer just yet, but I really, obviously, like many players, from what I can gather, I do enjoy the Spathia Looter, although my emotional attachment to FWIFO makes it risky to deploy. You know, I can spare a few humans, but no FWIFOs left behind. Now that the flagship is actually pilotable, since I've upgraded it enough, I do enjoy it, although I would absolutely take some recommendations. I mean, the big trick, of course, is that I gotta find those people. I like the Pkunk ships I've had no success with. This started off pretty well and then went down fast, but that's okay. We'll go in again. We gotta spam through some dialogue, unfortunately, but yeah, so I think I would, like, right now, I think a long range might be a nice addition to the fleet. Of course, I would have to find the ability to make that. I'm like, no, like I try to never deploy the returner here, because even though the game doesn't, except for that one occasion with the finding FWIFO on Pluto. Oops, I picked the wrong dialogue, and then we didn't learn all the stuff. Does that matter? It could. All right, this is just a practice run. I'll try for the next fight. I'll try the eluder. It's just that, yeah, once we're face on, this is bad. But a one-on-one with the Korh-Ah Dreadnought can actually work out pretty well. Gotta skip a whole lot of dialogue now just to load. I mean, I've read this dialogue as well, so that's good. But yeah, the eluder is clearly the most effective of the ships that I have. I really want to get the Stinger working just because I like that weapon and I like the idea of a ship that, like, gets in close. It's just I'm not a good enough pilot. / I have way too crummy of a controller here. perhaps this week I will figure out how to get the key mapper working and actually set myself up with some keyboard controls I can use and then get back to that. But yeah, the Eluder is clearly the best ship that I've got. It's just that I don't actually like constantly reloading, but I will not let FWIFO go. So I think British's suggestion earlier of trying to get the Spathi on board with whatever it is that we call ourselves. I got to write it down the next time I see it. I picked the name and I don't remember it. Okay, we'll do this correctly this time. There. Yeah, I spake the words. All right, so we're gonna do a FWIFO on point attempt here. Oh, absolutely, Willie. I think most of the fighting I've done has just been Stilandro, because I guess you can still run. I've never done the run thing. You were the one who actually told me how to run. The very intuitive method of pressing the escape key. So I guess I could be fleeing Stilandro too. But the Stilandro are good practice for me. If I'm ever going to be any good at the combat, it's going to be through fighting them again and again and again. Okay. Spaceman Spiff, you're the vanguard force here. You know what? Okay, that went really badly, but I think the uncomfortable hybrid control setup that I've been using for the planetary lander, where I steer with the keys and shoot with the buttons on my crummy joystick. Hit the planet because of the bad camera perspective. Yeah, when they're in this slow pursuit, which is just terrible. It's the worst battle tactic I've seen the AI use. They're pretty buttable. Ugh. In the manual, it also says, when it's giving you advice for how to play the game, it's like, the AI achieves its remarkable accuracy by aiming where you're going to be instead of where you are. And it's like, yes, I see that, but wouldn't it be a better AI design if not every single space captain in the entire galaxy was that incredibly precise with their aim? Okay, so FWIFO is the answer here. I'm going to be able to win this with FWIFO. Not necessarily on this go, but if I can avoid things like running directly into the planet for no reason at the start, I could absolutely outdo Mr. Death here. I mean, it might even work out this time. Yeah, okay. Speaking those words is the mistake that I made. Okay, let's spam it, reload, and get back to a glorious world where FWIFO is alive. Okay. No, this is going to come through eventually. And actually pretty soon, I think. Which is great. So I would like to get some more things done before I have to shut her on down somewhere around the 3-hour mark. Yeah, it is good practice, waffle syrup. And it is fun. Like, it's fun for me. Like, I enjoy all these space battles, even though I'm not having great success with them thus far, most of the time. Although I do imagine I can see ways in which it would be more interesting to watch me not do the same fight over and over, especially for people who are have pre-established experience with the game. You know, like, although, you know what, having said that, I've always wanted to get my buddy Rich to do, even before streaming was a thing that I did, I always thought that a fun thing would be to get my buddy Rich, who's not naturally good at video games, but who, with the few video games that he's decided to dedicate himself to, he's a former, like, high-level athlete, and so, like, with Street Fighter and NBA Jam, basically, and some Mario, he's when he puts the time in, he can get really good. And I've always wanted to get him. I thought it'd be fun if he did a Let's Play of Dark Souls, while I just provided commentary and advice. Of course, he's a child now, so we're never gonna have time to do that. And I would enjoy that, even though I suppose a lot of it would be watching him repeatedly lose at things that I could easily do. So I'm just trying to talk myself into not feeling bad for the audience. I've persuaded myself, so please nobody correct me in the chat about the justification I just came up with for why this is good content. Yeah. Like, among other things, just like, I love Dark Souls in that kind of like, I wish I could experience it for the first time again kind of way. I remember Roger Ebert, the late lamented Roger Ebert, said that, I think he was talking about Romeo and Juliet. Might have been Hamlet, but I think it was Romeo and Juliet, that he said that he wished he could wipe it from his mind so we could read it again for the first time, like see it staged for the first time. Might have been Romeo and Juliet he said that about. It was definitely some Shakespeare play. And okay. Yeah, I got to keep remembering that, Happy Camper, because that in theory I should have already learned that, because a lot of people who were already familiar with the Ultima series hung out and watched me play Ultima 5, and that was absolutely not a smooth process of I was not speed running Ultima 5. It's 100 hours of painstaking NPC dialogue. Okay. The Earthling is doing good because, I mean, this is the strategy. Except, okay, it's over. But that Earthling did great. Spaceman Spiff crushed it in that fight. Alright, Fuefo. I wish I had more time to watch other folks streaming, because, believe it or not, there are many video games that I'm very good at, and I do think I would enjoy exactly that experience. I remember one stream, all the streams that I've been able to spend much time watching have just been when people who have followed me are streaming, and I'm like, oh, I should check it out just so I'm not being just to reciprocate the support. And I hadn't actually played the game, but I was watching a person play Returnal, the PlayStation 5 rogue-esque 3D space combat, or not space combat, but science fiction combat game. And not only was it fun to watch him try his best to, get the hang of the combat and stuff, there were times when just watching him, I was able to actually give him some advice, because like he's in these fights, like fighting tough enemies that he doesn't know how to beat, and he's, you know, it's going like frantically for him, whereas I'm just observing neutrally, and certainly have lots of experience fighting, you know, boss fights and stuff over and over. I'm a Dark Souls guy, fighting a boss over and over to. Oh, that was so close. Okay. It's gonna take one more go, but check this out. We might not even lose any crew on the flagship. Yeah, this is... Waffle Syrup, it's fitting I was talking about Dark Souls, because one of my worst habits in Dark Souls is when I'm dealing with a tough boss fight, is having a really good run, getting them very close, and then too soon deciding this is it, rout them now, finish them off, and diving in and getting myself killed, which is exactly what I just did with Flippo. Because the Dreadnought had settled in to like, well, we're either gonna die or win right now, and I shouldn't. If I had just not settled in, I would have won that. But I settled in. I faced off. I ran out of butt missiles, and I got saw-bladed. Rookie mistake. And like, I am a Star Control rookie, but I am certainly not a boss fight rookie. I should stop making that mistake. Perhaps one day I will. Okay. Can Spiff put it up once again? The British is right. It's funny. Here's the thing, British, because yeah, with Ultima 5 especially, I didn't read the manual, and I missed that there's like a separate watch the intro option on the Ultima 5 menu, as opposed to it just playing when you start the game. And so I hadn't seen the introduction, and so I was trying to piece together, because like I figured out what was going on mostly in the world. But yeah, I was trying to put a whole bunch of things together that I absolutely didn't need to. I should have just read. But the funny thing about me, like, you know, especially with the manuals, which I'm trying to get better at, I've read much of the Star Control 2 manual, not all of it. It's very long. Yeah. It's a very... Sir, your story is compelling. I don't want you to get me wrong as I'm going, yeah, come on. Is that when I was a kid, and even now, really, if video games still came with like when I had a physical manual in my hands, oh, I love to read it. If I was at like a friend's house or something and they had games I'd never heard of before, I'd be like, oh, you just play something. I'll read all your manuals while you're playing. I haven't been able to transfer that enthusiasm fully to reading PDFs. Although I have read the Ultima 6 PDF, the Ultima 6 Compendium, and I'll probably read it again before I fire up the game. Oh, it's more for me to hear. I find this fascinating, his compulsion to share all this information. It's compulsion. Gotta stop gendering the Urquan, the Korh-Ah. Alright, Earthling. No. It was all over for Spiff when we spawned so close together. I want to try once more to get in there with the Stinger weapon. Maybe using the key controls I can pull it off. My money's not on yes, I can pull it off, but who knows. No. They have too much battery for me to play waste their weapons and then get in their game. Okay. Alright, Fwifo. Alright. language. Hit an asteroid. But we recovered from the ill-timed momentum shift. The theater of combat here is pretty large, which is miraculous. I'm not sure if they're ever different sizes, but this seems bigger to me, which is really good because it's obviously getting littered. Getting littered with saw blade debris. Now, although, had I done this well the previous time when the Earthling had actually softened it up for me, I would have won. And I haven't lost. I shouldn't talk like I've already lost. Actually, one thing is because the AI is so good at anticipating your trajectory, especially with something that can shoot as much as this thing and has such a devastating weapon, avoiding a lateral trajectory is actually extremely helpful. Like, it's better to be just kind of going away from them. Especially if you get on just so of an angle. Inertia drifted me in. Okay, alright. It's okay. It's okay. The stream will continue until I succeed at this. Unless, like, there's, you know. Yeah. That was never going to go well for Graham. I shouldn't have sent him to... whatever. Okay. It's all just practice now, baby. No. Let's get this over with. Get back to the real deal. Yes. Wibble, I was literally, you just have to trust me, but I was absolutely just about to say, you know what I ought to do? Maybe. If Whiffo is about to die, but I'm also doing really well, I can try to escape. But, yeah, like you said, because I know it takes it's not instantaneous escape. And the, yeah, the Marauder is real good at shooting a lot of long-range, horrible weapons of doom. So it's a risky strategy, but that's what I'll try it this time. If it comes to that, we will try to let Whiffo really soften it up. Hit a really hard T and soften there. Here we go. It's good that that this dialogue and the visual of the Korh-Ah and the sinister music is all very compelling. So even speeding through it quickly, repeatedly, I'm still getting something out of it just because it's so cool. Like, what a backstory. Whoops. The thing where they killed their friends is really sad. I wish that... this is one of those things where I would love to bring the conversation system of Ultima 5 and 4 and 6, from what I understand, into the world of Star Control. Because I would love to go back to the Melnorme and say, what do I want to say? Oh, I would like to go to the Melnorme and find out if they are the what did he call them? He's about to say it. The Melnorme. The one-eyed aliens called the Melnorme who vanished, and the Korh-Ah have never seen them since. And then we find the tricky, kind of on-the-move Melnorme who also have one eye. They got to be the same ones, but it doesn't give me a new dialogue prompt to be like. And of course, I'm sure they'd be like, 700 credits, please, and we'd be happy to tell you. I got to check out some of this voice acting. Even just it'd be risky to try to find clips because I don't want spoilers. I'd have to find a dialogue I'd already heard. But I mean, the writing is so good that it's easy to imagine, even as you say, amateur voice actors doing something with it. Sorry, Spiff. Just look at how fast that battery recharges on that Marauder. Okay. Giving this a shot. That's all we can do, right? Ah! Okay. That was really ill-timed asteroid bump there. Now, Mr. Korh-Ah, Mr. Death 31, you see why we call this ship the Eluder. Yeah, not using the cheap, crummy joystick on this cheap, crummy PC gamepad that I picked up recently is a major step in getting good at this game. It is much easier to steer when you can reliably expect your thrusters to activate when you try to press what you think is the thruster direction. And then likewise to steer when your steering will happen in the direction you ask it to. Alright, Fwiffo, you've done well. That was close, but it worked. Alright. I don't think it's ever going to go better than this. Captain James, get in there. Somehow escaped the planet's gravitational pull there without a collision. Oh, that feels good. I am your savior, and I will remain your savior this time. I will not be erasing my saving of you from the history of the universe. Boom. Nice big fleet we got going. Nice, yeah, so what's up? I mean, I've already done this dialogue, but just, it's the kind of thing that feels like I should get it into the canon of my playthrough. Obviously, there's no news. I don't want your specific information right now. Goodbye to both the Zoq, the Fot, and the Pik. And Really easy to update that save name. Thank you, English grammar. Most of the time, English grammar makes things difficult because it's a weird language. But in this one particular instance of switching a save game name with a word that ends in a vowel to the past tense, it's real good. Okay. I think we still... I mean, now it's like we're not teetering on the brink. We have lots of fuel. We should try to gather some resources. So let's head for... Have I done... Zeta Norme feels familiar. But, because, Happy Camper, I'm writing everything down, I know that I haven't been there. At least in a run where I didn't reset due to losing Fwifo. Or get game over. So, chart a course. Ensign, make it so. I think my Picard impression is getting worse every single... It's not even like close anymore. But I'm sure everybody knows what the reference is anyway, so it's fine. Oh my goodness. Okay, we gotta manually pilot this thing. I made a very smooth transition there where I disengaged autopilot using the controller on my lap, but then got my hand onto the keys so I could actually pilot this friggin' thing. Alright. Well, I'm not hitting anything, am I? Let's, Alright. Now let's chart a course to somewhere. Oh, okay. We can still do this Zeta Norme. And if we start getting chased down by dreadnoughts, we will courageously flee. We'll just send the returner in and flee. Very slow moving something in space up ahead of me. What information does the star map have about what at least used to be around here? Should find out as I drift slowly in the vacuum of space there. Okay, so if I was leaving Tucanae to Norme, it could be the Umgah, who know how to manipulate the Ilreth. Didn't even need to write... Well, I did need to write that one down because the reason I remembered it manually just now was because I read it earlier. But who knows? Maybe we'll flag them down. We might have to deal with some foes for... I don't know. Might just have to come back. But here we go. Zeta Norme. The only planet here, but it's infrared. Nah. Oh wait, is there... No, of course nothing's living on an infrared world. Okay. Well, this one was a bust. Let's head back to the vacuum of space. Oh, I'll record that. Oops. Okay. Let's see. Epsilon. None of the Norme are on my log, so I'll just... Doesn't matter. I could land on every planet and have it be a bust for the entire voyage home, and I'll still be riding high off of the relatively successful. Okay, but here we go. It's going to be 3 Marauders, isn't it? No. Okay. Okay. I should have recrewed Fwifo for this, right? But we're going to try with poor Captain Graham here. And if I need to, I'll just send the returner in to clean up. Sorry, Graham. I should not have sent you into that fight. I know that now. Feels like this should have started off better, with it being so close to me. No, okay. That was not brilliantly executed. Let's try this one more time. Because I'm going to crew my ships up before I leave like I should have, like a responsible person. Hopefully the returner doesn't even need to get involved. Crewing Fwifo, of course, is it's costly. Okay. Well, we'll pass right by Zeta Norme. We'll head for Epsilon, ready with the keyboard to bust out of autopilot and pilot manually if needed for evasive maneuvers. Here we go. Here we go. Ha! That one worked out. Right now, there's no one to weave around right now, which is great. Okay, I think I can engage autopilot and head on over, and maybe we'll be able to make contact with the Umgah while we're there, find out what they're all about. This is one of those times where I start to realize I really should go through all the expository dialogue the commander of the starbase can give me about all the alien races just to find out which ones remain free so that I don't get myself into a situation where I'm killing all sorts of aliens. When we head back out, we gotta fight a... Woo! There are treasure potential planets. Potential treasure planets here. Or auric worlds. Or they could all be Urea and Lanthanide worlds, but why not go in with optimism? Oh, it feels good. It's so nice when it happens good. Alright. Make landing. So, this is going to be a wild week ahead for me because I might finally find out about my job. Or that could not happen this week. But it's happening soon. And so, there's that. And then... I'm surprisingly calm about it because I've just pushed it to the back of my brain, but my little kitty's having major surgery in a couple days. And it's scary. My other cat had surgery a couple of months ago, but it was comparatively minor. Now, she's probably going to be okay with the surgery. There's always the risk of anesthetic death, but which I just want to believe isn't going to happen. But the surgery itself, she's in good hands, and she, despite being 13 years old and a recovered diabetic, is actually in quite good condition. But it's a surgery to remove a tumor on her back between her shoulder blades, and the tumor, it is what's it called? A sarcoma. And so I guess the gimmick of the sarcoma is that it's not spread aggressive like a lot of cancers. It's actually uncommon for a sarcoma to spread to other parts of the body, but it's very locally aggressive because it puts out like tendrils of corrupted cancer cells to kind of dig in, and that means that to try to remove it entirely, which is what you got to do with cancer, they need to take some muscle tissue from the surrounding area and some of her vertebrae, and so the recovery, like this is a rough spot to have a major operation, right behind your shoulders, especially when you're quadrupedal. So the recovery is going to be tough. If she was older, I know 13 is not young, but if she was older, I might just say, you know what, let's just let her live out her days and hope that this thing doesn't advance, too quickly, and we can have some more. But where, she could have years ahead of her, and her sister certainly does, and the two of them, the longest they've ever been apart was while the other one was having surgery, and it was immensely stressful for Abra, and I suspect it will go an auric world. I love gold. Just interrupt my attempt to grapple with the mortality of my beloved cats to make my one gold member joke. And so yeah, there's a real risk that even with them taking a lot of tissue and bone, they don't get it all, and it'll come back anyway, and then I'm not going to put her through this more than once. So that would be the point where we would say, okay, we'll see what happens. But and maybe hopefully this thing goes slow, but gotta try once, because I would vastly prefer to just have her around for a long time. And so we gotta give it a shot, and the recovery's gonna be tough on her, I know, but worry about one thing at a time. So I'll just worry about the surgery for now, and there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm trying not to even really focus too much on the worry. So that's all I'll say about that. But Waffle Syrup can testify. Abra's a great cat. Thank you, Waffle Syrup. I appreciate that. I certainly hope the same. Nothing living down there on this metal world. It's a little rough, but there's a pretty good smattering. Like, there's at least one precious. There's some base metals. I do not think these are radioactives. No. The radioactives look more brilliant, is I think basically the distinction you're supposed to make. Ha! Obviously I get this a lot, is her sister named Kadabra? Did she name her Abra because it's Abracadabra? That's not actually the origin of her name. I named my cats by going to babynames.com and looking for names that sounded good together. So Ashtra is a Greek name that obviously means star. And Abra is probably supposed to be pronounced Abra because it's a Hebrew name that is the feminine. People assume that too. Nope, it's literally just, I thought Abra and Astra sound good together, even though the name I was looking at was probably Abra. I didn't even do a biological scan when this world really looks like it could. Anyway, we're just grabbing some base metals here. How am I for time? Oh yeah, I'm at least gonna hit the 3-hour mark. I mean, we gotta get home. I can wrap this thing up after I return to Earth in one piece, which I certainly hope to be when I get there. Alright, come on. We've had an Auric world and a treasure world. One more treasure world would hit the spot. Nope, but it's Auric. Say it with me, folks. I love gold. Alright. Oh! So do these indigent life forms. Alright. Neither the weather nor the tectonics are ideal, but they're not terrible. We're going to get down there. We're going to harvest some samples. Oh, they're moving. Well, maybe we won't harvest them. Maybe we will. Depends on how much trouble the lightning's given me. In theory, the lightning should be giving me more and more trouble as I pick up more and more gold. Right? But... oh, thank goodness for my bio shields, which didn't pay off as much as they could have because I... that hurts. Okay, let's do this one more successfully. Okay, get out of there. Forget it. Forget it. I'm sorry, crew. I should never have sent any of you down there. I acknowledge my fault. Alright, let's finish off the Epsilon Norme system now. I mean, hey, they died to harvest the funds that we can use to hire their replacements. So it was not in vain. Looking opalescent down there. Oh, the tectonics are disastrous. It's not worth it for a few rare earths. There's been enough human suffering on actual Earth over rare earth minerals. Lanthanide. Not even going to bother scanning it, because if it did have something good on it, it would just suck to know that I couldn't go down there because of the extremely unstable crust of the planet. Lanthanide. Two left. Here we go. And like, who knows? There's potential for something interesting on that inner planet. Fluorescent world covered with, hey, okay, anything living down there? No. We can deal with the weather and the tectonics. I think these are radioactives. Heck yeah. And noble gases, or noble elements. Guess they don't have to be in gaseous form. Might as well grab them while we're here. This is a nice, safe, pretty pink planet. So we'll fill up. We're full. Not a life was lost. And we're out of here. We out of here, baby. Ooh. Anyway, on the one hand, a promising light world, except that, look at that weather. Class 8. Anyone goes down there is riding the lightning. Okay. Epsilon Norme. All planets. Riches. If I ever have to do another playthrough, it'll be really helpful to have this record of everything that was really fruitful to explore. Oh, farewell, sweet Pkunk. We hardly knew ye. Actually, we knew you very well. We knew you well enough to know there was nothing we could do to stop you from going and getting yourselves killed. Pour one out. I'm not actually going to pour anything out right now because I do have a lot of sensitive electronic equipment, but... But that is sad. They might have been a little annoying, but they were very kind. Their hearts were in the right place. Oh, right. I wanted to meet one of these aliens. Not this one. This is going to be the Stilandro. Let's have a chat. Oh, the chatting isn't going to work. All right. Captain Graham. Try to have another good run here. But I failed. Yikes. Alright, Fufa. Oh, direct hit. Successful butt shot. Oh, the range on this thing. Yeah, it's interesting how hesitant they are to take risks given that they're drones, right? Ah. Bit by... Ah! Hit the planet. The perspective shift got me there. Yeah, like, it's absolute, like... It's a mix of good design and bad design. The aiming thing where every single alien star captain is a master of predicting your trajectory and hitting it. Like, that's the kind of thing where you're like, there should be some more variety. But the behavior of the Stilandro here, even though it's odd, in light of, as we were just saying, the fact that they seem to be drones that take great effort to keep... I suppose since they're collecting minerals, they... Oh, absolutely. I don't... Happy Camper, I love avoiding spoilers, but I'm always happy to hear gameplay advice. Whether I take it or I'm successful at implementing it, I make no promises, but always happy to listen. Ah, I got the butt pointed in the wrong direction. Fwifo is back in familiar territory now. Part of the problem I'm realizing here, I should have... the thing about fleeing Waffle Syrup is that the Stilandro are very fast, and as we saw, it's a very slow process to evacuate, and their weapons make very short work of you. So I suspect they're very difficult to flee from for that combination of reasons. But this is why we saved after finishing the tedious work of... it's not that tedious. I actually really enjoyed mining the planets. Okay. Let's get out there in hyperspace. Actually win. A problem I've just realized that is affecting me now that I'm getting better. It's a new problem because I've switched to this bad, like, hybrid style that I shouldn't be using. Is that I don't think the game, either the game or my PC, is willing to read both keyboard inputs and Ah, so I should just flee. Alright. Okay, let me try that. Let's see. Yeah. That with the Earthlings, like sometimes it works brilliantly. Either the point defense or just getting my momentum up, and then just a couple of those homing missiles get the job done. All right. All right. I'm gonna, just for fun. This was the answer all along. I'm gonna reload for poor Graham. No. Yes. No. Sorry, Graham, but you're dead. Died fair and square. You're not as cute as Fwiffo. I have had very little luck landing shots with the Pkunk, which is a shame because I love their resurrection skill. I also only have 3 more Pkunk forever now that the Pkunk have probably been extirpated from the galaxy. You've never seen a human Earthling. You adorable eldritch horror. Nosers from Draconis. That is a sinister sounding prank, friend. Is this too aggressive? Oh, no it's not. Okay. Hail, Stimpinski! We're late in the game here. Let me just tell you though, I did finally read about Steel Modder today, and yet I think I need to read more about it because I'm gonna need to like go into some forums or something, because all I could find in terms of like a wiki was something that was obviously translated from German without a great care detail. Sounds like a cool game though. So like all the player characters have like some sort of weird connection to a shattered moon or something, and then like a 2d10 system. Okay, so that's very interesting. Can we be friends now? Have you played yet? Because I know you've been getting ready to play. So you made the decision. Cool. Alright, yeah. I had a feeling for a moment, I was like, this was really easy. And then I was like, no, wait, they're the Joker species. He's kidding about not killing me. Well, I don't even know what the Umgah do, and they've got a whole friggin' fleet here. So, this might just be a disaster. Okay. They're crazy fast. But they have a very short-range weapon. Do they have the... No. Their battery doesn't gradually recharge. It instantly recharges. Oof. Landed a shot, at least. Okay. The eluder will actually... When I get more of the hang of it... Probably not be a bad vessel to put up against these. Ah, Fwiffa. Okay. I'm really curious. Feels like there might be the opportunity, unless the Zoq-Fot-Pik is just too slow, I might be able to land stinger shots while they're charging their battery, right? Don't you want to come play? It's interesting. Aha! They hit the planet. Their weapon doesn't drain their battery at all, though. It's only their speed warping. Yeah, that was not optimal. Okay, let's just get this business over with. We're not going to officially meet the Umgah today. We'll only have met them in the dark timeline. And then we're going to go home and call it. I think I would have done. I know that I would have done much better with the eluder in that particular fight had I not been so you know, utterly caught off guard by its crazy acceleration power. Their great smallness is a problem. Okay, so when their weapon is up, it prevents their battery from recharging. So I think I understand that enemy now. Although now we will we'll just try to not deal with them at all. Oof. Watching the Pkunk's light go out again. There's a grim reward for my or punishment, I suppose, for my failure there. But okay. Yeah. It's going to be a game changer. Spellcaster University. No. I have not. We have like a 50% hit rate, Stimpinski. Sometimes we are both intimately familiar with a thing, and then half the time you tell me with things that not just haven't I not played it, I've never heard of it. If need be, we'll fight this Lalandro. But if I can pull off just getting home so that I fight it next week at the start when we leave the solar system, that'll be just fine for me too. But if it catches me, we're just gonna go in with the flagship. SimCity and Hogwarts. You know what? It's been so long since I've played a good city builder game. I really ought to. I'm wildly out of date. SimCity. Was there a SimCity 2000? Actually called that? I feel like that's the most recent one that I've played. Which really, now that I think about it, So huge gap in my otherwise eclectic gaming habits. Yeah, I am adding it here to my list of things that folks have told me about that I will learn more about. I'm halfway through. I'll have Splittermond off the list, hopefully by next week. Yes, so SimCity 2000 would actually probably be the most recent city builder I've played. Or game of anything like it. Like even, you know, like obviously Roller Coaster Tycoon. Oh yeah, no, Waffle Syrup, that's no surprise to me. I lived through that. Through everything being called 2000 during 98, 99. We just accepted it. For me as a kid, the Super Nintendo SimCity was the one to beat because you could have Bowser attack your city. Oh, Happy Camper! I like the way you think. That does sound like who knows if Spellcaster University specifically has that, but adding magic seems like a really good way to deal with natural catastrophes striking your. Although yes, a tornado to put out a fire does raise some other problems. Like that makes me think of that Simpsons late. I call it late because I stopped watching The Simpsons sensibly when it got terrible more than half of the show's lifetime ago. But that late period Simpsons episode, late period, where at the end there's this invasive species thing where we release these snakes to catch all the things, and then Lisa goes, but then, then we release these to catch, and eventually it's like, then we release these gorillas to kill all them, and Lisa's like, but then we have gorillas everywhere, and he's like, but then when winter comes, the gorillas simply freeze to death. Yes, you've thought this through. Okay. Let's make sure, I ought to go report to the commander before we shut down here. Nothing urgent for him to report to me. Oh. Forget that I said that. No, you should bring it up. Ah. One correlation. Did they all come back with me from Vela? No. High Esper ratings. Oh, I do not like the thought that the Dinari or whatever they were called are back. Or that they're psychic aliens of any kind. You know, Commander, I don't know. I try to be not cavalier with human life, but have we considered just launching those 6 into the vacuum of space? Just nip this in the bud. Or at least send them back to Earth. Nothing good can come of some kind of alien psychic contact being made with 6 crew members. I mean, it's not a permanent fix, Waffle Syrup. But it's like the few things I was able to say to the Pkunk that got them to go home temporarily. Hey, all right, making money over here. Weird shit's going on, which is bad. But there's nothing urgent, which means next time, perhaps, I will be able to go find out if my theory... And what theory do I mean? If my theory... Hold on, gotta interrupt myself. Crew is more expensive because I've been so cavalier with human life. That's fair. I deserve that. I'm glad it took this long, frankly. Let's get one more Earthling Cruiser up here. I do like the Earthling Cruisers. Even though they're Obviously not the best ship available. I mean, they're one of the better ones available to me. Especially until I make friends with the Spathy and get expendable Spathy, who I don't have an emotional attachment to. But I literally just noticed for the first time. Like, I knew that the crew populates these. I only just made the fuel connection at this exact moment. Oh, and I know why, actually. I have an excuse. It's because you fill your fuel up here and you're not actually looking at it. Oh, but you are, just in a different way, because watch. These are going to fill up. Yeah. Attention to detail. As our fuel capacity gets better, it of course becomes more and more necessary to have fruitful resource collection journeys. Okay, very last thing that I want to do. Put one more save down. I'm going to pop open the star map. So I want to know if it was a direct journey, which is not the kind of journey I'll be making. So it's not perfect information. Okay, the Lince's system would be almost 100 fuel units to get there. Well, I don't think I can go right there. But I'll find, I mean, you know, as we know, we can load saves. So I think I will try to get there and just see next time. But failing that, our next step just has to be, you know, getting into some of this not quite charted space here in order to gather up. We need to find more resources because we need greater fuel capacity. Oh, hey. So I got to go back and make this deal. Do I have biosamples right now? Because maybe there is one more task to be done. No. No, but okay, there's not one more task to be done. But obviously, those double capacity fuel tanks, which I think I still had enough credits to afford, would contribute well to that task. So that's something to think about for next time too. All right, this was a fruitful day. We said a sad goodbye to the Pkunk, but we learned some stuff. I got better at the game. I realized that I just need to set this piece of junk aside. I'm sorry, Stimpinski, you did arrive kind of late, but I'll be back tomorrow. And we'll be getting up to more. But yeah, so we now canonically know, because I both spoke to the Black Urquan, the Korh-Ah, and I was early, Stimpinski. I should have been more precise there. Yeah, we spoke to the Korh-Ah, and we learned the backstory of the Urquan, and then we didn't get annihilated, so now officially Captain James, the video game character, knows. And we found a freaky Mycon egg. We met the Umgah, but realized that their practical joker nature is going to make them very difficult to negotiate with if it's ever going to be possible. And yeah, not bad, right? So, cool. Everyone out there, especially folks in the chat, of course, because it's lovely to chat with you, but, you know, quite frankly, if you were there and you never said a word, you're just hanging out, thanks for coming by. Consider hitting the follow button and coming on back. Or you can just come back without following, but I think it'd be easier to come back if you did. It was a lot of fun. I hope you all had fun watching. And until those celestial bodies align and our paths cross again, take care of yourselves and be kind to everyone you meet.